is Christopher Edgar Chappell. And tonight I'd like to present to you a few lessons learned from my first European vacation. Now, hopefully when I'm done, you can take a few of these lessons home with you, and hopefully it will help you on your next vacation. But let's go ahead and start from the beginning. It started about 22 years ago, and I was stationed at Rhein-Main Air Force Base, Germany, and I was with my family. That's right, Karen, my wife, and my 3 kids, Scott, Ashley, and Tara. And we wanted to travel throughout Europe, go from one country to another. Now, with this in mind, we realized, well, there's some lessons we have to learn first. It's not that simple. And the 3 lessons I'd like to go over with you tonight is about the documentation, the packing, and the currency exchange. First, let's start with the documentation. Now, if you travel to a foreign country, you know first you have to have a passport. And if you have one, you know you have to get your picture taken, and you have to have your birth certificate, and it takes about 6 weeks to get it all done. Meanwhile, here I'm thinking, well, geez, now I have to get their shots, immunizations for each country. So I had to get their shot records together. Then I realized, well, I want to drive. Now I have to get an international driver's license and international car insurance. When I got done, it took about 6 to 8 weeks to get everything together. So I got this trifold, and I put all my passports in one section. In the middle section, I put all the shot records. In the third section, the international driver's license and the car insurance. And I folded it up, put it in the car. My wife's here, kids in the back. I am ready to cross the first border. You know what I'm saying? I got everything ready to go, and here we are headed for the Belgian border. And I'm getting closer and closer and we're ready, Dave. I'm telling you now. And then as we approach the guard, he looks at us and sees we're Americans and goes, and waves us right through. And I'm looking like, that's all right. I mean, he didn't even check it. Then my inner voice took off. And for this vacation, it was in English. And he goes, not fair, not fair, not at all, not at all. I mean, we did 6 to 8 weeks of documentation preparation, and he never even checked a thing. Not fair. And it wasn't fair. I mean, it was really unfair to do all that, and they don't even check it. But I will tell you this, the documentation is very important, because when we crossed the other borders, they checked it in detail. So, rule of thumb, if they wave you through, don't take it personal, like I did. Now, the second lesson I'd like to go over with you is packing. Now, all I wanted my family to do was pack a big bag and an overnight bag. Now, being in the military, I could tell my guys this, and they would go, no problem, ooh, and they'd do it. But no, my wife and my kids were different. They don't do that, you see. My kids know I'm the one who drags these bags around. So when I told them this, they're like, oh, Daddy, you're so funny. You're just so silly. And I'm like, oh, great. Now, my wife, she didn't help either. She gave one of these things like, dear, is it really necessary? And I'm like, no, I have 4 against 1. I knew I couldn't win. So I go, okay, everybody, throw the bags, get them in the trunk, let's go. So we head down the road, and I knew I would regret this. As a matter of fact, it was later on that night, because we were driving through Belgium. We now are getting on to the ferry. And this ferry here, we're excited, because it's an overnight trip, 5.5 hours, from Belgium to England. Now, we're like, hey, we get to stay the night in a little cabin, and this is good. So here I am driving on the lower deck of this ferry, first time ever, you know, and here I see it. I see a staircase going up. I couldn't see the top. It was like the staircase to heaven. And I'm thinking, I can drag all these bags up that thing? And then all of a sudden my inner voice comes out and goes, well, dip me in chocolate. You see that thing? It's going all the way to the sky. You got to carry all those bags one at a time up that thing. You'll be here all night long. You'll never get to sleep. What were you thinking? And I have to admit, what was I thinking? I mean, geez, I should have told him about that overnight bag and insisted to do it, so I wouldn't have to go through that bag drag. I mean, it was just terrible. Well, I made it done, and I said, well, okay. Lesson learned 2, bring an overnight bag no matter what. Now, here I am on the 3rd lesson, going currency exchange. And I'm thinking, well, before I got on the ferry, I noticed, I can buy some English pounds and have it when I get there. And all of a sudden, the inner voice comes out and says, you know, that's a good move, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, you can buy the pounds right here. When you're right in England, you can be like all the other blokes and fit right in, you know, fit right in. I thought, that's a good idea. So I go over and I exchange and got some British pounds, and I get on the ferry, spend the night, and think, you know what, I'm gonna be like the experienced traveler. When I arrive in England, look real good. So when I arrive in England, I've got my pounds, and then I look up, and I see currency exchange rate is cheaper in England than it was where I bought it. And I'm like, I could have saved all this money if I just got it there. And I'm going, okay, not again, lesson learned. Okay, good. Okay, next time, buy it in country. So a week later, I got to try this out. What happens is, I am now leaving England, catching a ferry, going to France. And I'm like, the experienced traveler will not buy it here. He'll wait till he gets to France. And so I did. Now, what I did not know about France was, in France, it's non-tourist friendly. I get off, and there is no currency exchange. There's no welcome center at all. Matter of fact, you drive off the fairway, you're immediately on a highway to where? I don't know, I couldn't even buy a map. And now I'm going, okay, we'll pull off the nearest town, and then I'll get it all straightened out there. Well, I look around, I see that town's going by, but there's no exit. No exit at all. And it seemed like an eternity. And then finally, 30 minutes go by, and we finally get to an exit. Oh, jeez. And there's a toll booth there. And the guy at the toll booth looks me right in the eye and he goes, "Sir, you must pay the toll." And I said, "Why? I can't. There was no way to get the currency. I don't have any friends." "Sir, you must pay the toll." And I said, "All right, do you take American dollars? How about English pounds? How about German Deutschmark? Yeah, all that." "No, we take francs, and you must pay the toll." And I'm like, what do I do now? So then all of a sudden my wife saves me. She leans over and goes, do you take credit cards? And he goes, "Yes, we take credit cards." Oh, I go, great. So we paid the guy with the credit card to get through. Lesson 3 was to, hey, back it up. You can't figure out this currency thing as you go country. Bring a credit card. With that, in review, I'd like to say the documentation, very important. They wave you, let it go. As far as packing the bag goes, and he goes, make sure you bring an overnight one. And thirdly was bring the credit card for the currency if you can't figure that out. With that, hopefully you will enjoy your next vacation. Thank you very much.